Hey guys, welcome back to my Sky Pro Cycling career. It's episode 2 right now, and today will be the Australian Championship, where I'm looking for Richie Porte to make an impact. I'm not going to basically play every single stage of every single race, as that would take too long, and I want to kind of move the series forward in a way. I want to show you the second season, as there's a lot of changes in this pack that I've got from PCM.daily. Check them out, they're very good for expansion packs and everything, and basically it changes the stages in some of the races, so it makes it look more realistic in a cycling career. But since this is the first race of the season, it's the Australian National Championships. I'm gonna play it. I'm obviously looking for my rider Richie Porte to make a very good impact, as it's a hill stage. But if it does come to a bunch finish, you can see by his speed, sprinting at acceleration, he's not the best. There are better people than him out there, so that can be quite worrying if it doesn't really work out very in a bunch sprint. But here we go, I'm going to show you anyway. As you can see, Simon Gerrans won it last year, and he's the favourite to win it this year with 78 hill rating. That's one higher than Richie Porte, and he's got very good sprint and acceleration. So really, he would be the favourite should it come to a bunch sprint, but that's why I have to make my 3 riders work as hard as they can to deliver Richie Porte to victory. I'll see you in the race. Goodbye, I'll see you just in a minute. This is it, the moment we've all been waiting for. The start of the season for Team Sky Pro Cycling, the Australian National Road Championships, with my riders Richie Porte, Chris Sutton and Matthew Hayman. So the race starts with 58 people. That's the amount of Australians that are in the game, I believe, and there are a few buttons that you can control. For example, this button here is the attack button. When your rider attacks to join the breakaway, maintain your position, go forward. I'm going to make all my riders go forward actually, because it's always better to start at the beginning of the peloton. If you're at the front of the peloton, you kind of avoid all the rough and... So, for example, if there's a fall at the back of the peloton, you don't get caught up in it, and you don't get caught up in it, so you stay in control of the whole peloton. I'm going to make Chris Sutton attack, as he's not one of my best hill riders. The idea of attacking and making a breakaway is that you put time into the peloton, you try and get away from them, and you work together with the rest of your group to try and stay clear of them so that one of you can win the race in the end. And the peloton, as there are more people usually in the peloton than the breakaway, the peloton usually can take it in turns to try and crawl them back, so there's more energy within the peloton than within the breakaway. And that's quite important, as breakaways rarely really succeed because the peloton always manages to bring them back. But I'm going to try a long shot with Sutton here, because he has the best sprinting ability within this group. So if it does come into sprint within this group, he will be the Australian champion. Even though Richie Porte is probably the best at hills, which is why I'm keeping him in the peloton with all the other rivals such as Gerrans, Evans and Rogers. As you can see here, there's 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes even maybe, as you can see at the bottom, from the peloton to the lead group. And that's quite a big difference. So I'm just going to advance here until something really exciting happens, or if people try to attack to join this group. But so far, not much, just a breakaway with the peloton behind it. And here we go, there are some riders trying to attack away from the lead group. It always happens because they obviously want to go for themselves, their stage victory for themselves, but I'm going to make Sutton relay anyway, so that it brings them back. I need them back, because otherwise I don't want them to get too much of a head start, as I really want Sutton to be able to lead this chase group. Still, they will not give up, they still keep attacking to try and get away from Sutton. I don't see why, because the peloton is already closing in. As you can see here, there are quite a few teams, including Orica Green Edge, who are at the front of the peloton trying to bring in this lead group. And here it is. Sutton is back into the peloton with Hayman and Porte, and he's going to try and work with those two and a few other teams to bring in the lead group to give Porte the biggest chance possible of winning the Australian National Championship. This will be close, don't miss it. 50 kilometers to go, and all three of them are still working to bring in the leading group, but two other people have attacked as well. Orica Greenedge are there, Cadel Evans is there. Everyone is trying to bring this lead group, and all the favourites are gunning really hard to try and win this. I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is that I'm going to try my hardest to try and get Richie Porte to win the Australian National Championships, and at the moment it seems it might be a bunch sprint, so we have to watch out for Simon Gerrans, who is probably the favourite at this point. And here we go, nearly 9 kilometers left to go, and here we have Richie Porte up on the final mountain. What will he, on the final hill, sorry, what will he be able to do? He's getting away from Orica Greenedge, he's getting away. But there are something like 6 Orica Greenedge riders there, so it might be quite tough for Richie Porte here. But he's still trying to get away. He's got about an 8-second advantage now. What is going to happen? Orica Greenedge is not going to let this go, and they are rallying right behind him. They're trying to close down that gap to him very quickly. And Richie Porte is still trying his hardest, still trying to get away from that group, and giving him his energy bar now so that he keeps up that level of energy. And he will be able to beat all of Orica Greenedge into winning the Australian National Championships. But they're catching up and they've grouped back with him. This looks like Simon Gerrans' team have worked out perfectly what they're going to do for Simon Gerrans, and it looks as though it might not be Richie Porte's championship, as all of them come together with nearly 2 kilometers to go, 2.4. And here we go, it's going to come down to a bunch sprint, so Simon Gerrans might be the championship, but can Richie Porte pull out something? There we go, Gerrans is going away already, Gerrans is already going. Richie Porte, his sprint and acceleration isn't that great, as I said. Will he make a late burst, or will Orica Greenedge come and completely destroy the opposition in this Australian National Championship? It's looking like it might be a 1-2-3 for Orica Greenedge, but Richie Porte's coming back into it. Richie Porte's making a late surge, but it looks like it's too late. It might still be a 1-2-3. And there we go, Simon Gerrans will be the Australian National Champion. Richie Porte will come 4th as it looks. A pretty impressive result for Richie Porte, but maybe one outside the top 3 will be very disappointing for him. He would have wanted to make it, but Greenedge on the day were too good for any of Sky. They really controlled the peloton, they controlled everything that happened, and they led Simon Gerrans to become the new Australian National Championship for the 2nd time in a row. Congratulations to them, commiserations to Richie Porte. So there we have it, it's the end of episode 2, well done to Orica Greenedge. Next time, I'll see you. It'll probably be the Santos Tour Down Under, I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure that's what the next race in the season for us is. But, well done to Richie Porte. I mean, a bunch sprint at the end when he was nowhere near the favourite to come 4th. Very, very impressed with that. I'm not sure he will be though, as he was expecting the win today. He wants to become it. So next time I'll see you, yep, it is the Santos Tour Down Under. The Australian UCI race. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like. If I need to improve anything, please tell me in the comments or leave me in an inbox. And I'll see you next time with episode 3. Peace out. Goodbye.